Hi everybody, welcome to Yagya VM. So in today's class, we will discuss about the next NTSC paper. So this is the NTSC paper 2018 and we will discuss this question paper in 4 parts. So along with the solution, it will also have the explanation of some extra points. So it will basically prepare you for the NTSC 2020 examination in a much better manner. In my previous videos, I have seen your comments and I'm very delighted that you responded in such a way. So let us bring out this discussion. And this is the first question now. Who was known as Tsar the Liberator? So the correct answer is Tsar Alexander II. So basically he did a lot of reforms. So when we talk about Tsar, what does Tsar mean basically? Like for example, in France, if you remember, the king was called with the name of Louis. Similarly, in Russia, the king were called as czars. Okay, so it can be called as czar or Tsar, czar. Okay, so Tsar Alexander II was called as Tsar the Liberator because of his reforms. The next question, let us go to the next question now. The headquarter of the League of Nations is situated where? So the answer is Geneva in Switzerland. So what is League of Nations? So as you know, during the World War I, the Allied powers and the Central powers fought with each other and eventually the Central powers were defeated. So after that, a Paris Peace Conference was held and League of Nations was established. League of Nations was the first intergovernmental organization to be formed worldwide. And this was formed on 10th of January 1920. The mission was to maintain the world peace. Like for example, United Nations, which was formed in the year 1945. So it was a similar prototype which was formed after the World War I so as to make the peace, so as to have the peace accord since the World War I was over. And here it was made by Woodrow Wilson. Another thing that you can remember about League of Nations is that it could not sustain longer. League of Nations had a lot of disadvantages also. Okay, so it started with a good, it started well, and the Paris Peace process was there, and a lot of countries signed it. Even if do you know WHO, World Health Organization? So this was named. This was actually established by the League of Nations with a different name for looking after the health condition and for making the world a better place in the domain of health. But however, what happened, League of Nations had certain disadvantages also. For example, they did not have their own army to take action in the case of any violation, and various countries who were major powers actually violated the treaty of League of Nations they themselves. So why would the other countries even agree to it? So eventually Germany also, Germany, as in when we talk about Hitler, initially in World War One, Germany was torn like anything. So after that, Hitler reconstructed Germany, and when he reconstructed, he first violated the League of Nations and took away the Rhineland, which was given to some countries like Denmark, Poland, Lithuania. These countries are actually taken Rhineland from Germany after Germany's defeat in the World War One. So Hitler said that now the country has become better. Now they are in a position to handle the things better. So they do not need to go along the Treaty of League of Nations. So they withdraw from the League of Nations. So, similarly, various other countries also withdrew from it, and the operation finally ceased on 20th April 1946. Right? So this all things you can remember about the League of Nations. So let us go to the next question now. In which direction the world system led after the disintegration of Russia? So we are talking about 1991. So basically from 1945, when the World War One ended, World War Two ended in 1945 till 1991, there was two major power blocks, that is USA and USSR, and between them there was a terrible and a very bitter conflict. In 1991, USSR finally split it into 15 states, and after separation of 15 states, Russia was formed. So with the formation of this, as you know, Russia has an ideology of socialist. So socialist ideology was the core ideology of the Russian government, and various countries like for example India, we also followed this socialist kind of government until 1991, when the eyes of India were also opened that socialist government is not a kind of government that should have been taken by India in the very first time. But also we had faced the colonial era, and we had seen that capitalism or the mixed economy is not such a good kind of economy. So we wanted to have certain control by the government of India and not allow the private investors grow. right? So that the history cannot be repeated ever again. However, it was proven that socialist ideology is also a very bad ideology and it cannot sustain for a long term. So by that time, the world was also aware of this thing, and gradually the world moved towards capitalism. Capitalism is the idea of you of Capitalism is the market system of USA. And what does capitalism basically say? It is the ideology of free market, okay, that is called as the laissez-faire, in the words of Adam Smith, who is the father of economy, right? So the ideology of free market means what? The government won't have any intervention in the market policies. Who is raising the prices, who is not raising the prices, how much an enterprise is expanded, how much it is not expanded, all these things, okay? So the government won't cause any kind of interference into that. Those kind of markets are called as free market, and that is the capitalism ideology. Capitalism comes from the word capital, yani investment, okay? So it is an idea of creating a free market so that the growth can be there, prosperity can be there, as said by Adam Smith theory. So now let us go to the next question. The province of Bihar and Odisha was formed in which year? So basically, Odisha was such a province. Here the answer will be 1912. And now let us go to a bit of history to know what actually happened with Odisha. So Odisha was initially a part of the Marathas, and then it was passed to the British by the Marathas in the 1800s. And then in the British Empire, Odisha was a part of Bengal. So Bengal was a province which comprised of Assam, Bangladesh, Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, all of them. And in that part, Odisha was actually splitted. Okay, some part of it was actually conquered by Bengal, that is under the British administration. Some part was coming under the Madras regime, and some other part were the princely states. They were ruled by the princes. They were called as the Garjat. Okay, so in 1912, Bihar and Odisha were separated from Bengal, and in 1936, Odisha was formed as a single state and apart from Bihar. Right, and various other provinces of the Odia speaking provinces were also merged with Odisha to form this particular state on 1st of April, which is also the beginning of the financial year. So the correct answer here will be 1912, but please mind, if the question were when was Odisha formed, then the answer would be 1936. So both of the things I'm giving you here so that you can tackle the question well. The next question, who referred first Mahatma Gandhi as the father of the nation? So who was he? Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was the first person to refer Mahatma Gandhi as the father of the nation. Now let's move to the next question. Who among the following was the pioneer of Indian nuclear energy program? The correct answer is Homi Jahangir Bhabha. So I'll just give you a brief introduction about Dr. Homi Jahangir Bhabha. So he was a nuclear physicist and a doctorate. He was born in the year 1909 in Mumbai, and then he was educated in the Cambridge University. So during the World War, he came in contact with various big scientists of that time like Neil Bohr, James Frank, Enrico Fermi, and various other scientists, and he wanted to be a nuclear physicist. Now, during the World War, he had to return to India. At the age of 31, he was appointed to the Royal Society of London, and in India, when he was in India, he could not move back to the UK because of the World War, and here he decided to join the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore as a reader under the Nobel laureate C.V. Raman. Gradually, he formulated the plan of developing atomic energy setup in India. During that time, the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, who was also a great friend of him, so he convinced Jawaharlal Nehru to set up the atomic unit in India. The Department of Atomic Energy was set up, and the Tata Institute of Fundamental Research and various other organizations were also set up by his effort. He sought support from the Tata Trust, and that is how these all things were there. Our Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri also helped him a lot in setting up the cause of nuclear research. Finally, in 1996, at the age of only 56 years, he died in a air crash. So this was the story of Dr. Homi Jahangir Bhabha. This one you can just remember, right? Similarly, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, he is the father of space. So all these things you can remember. Similarly, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he is for the integrated guided missile development program.